So before getting into the trailer, I just wanted to highlight what the introduction of College Football 25 has done for us as consumers. And I promise this will all relate back to the release of this trailer. But no longer do we really have like a single title when it comes to a simulation football game. So this is pretty obvious. Every year since 2013, when NCAA 14 was last released, if you wanted to play a simulation football game, you had to go play Madden. It was pretty much take it or leave it. EA would give a big middle finger to us as consumers, pretty much not making the game any better year over year. But luckily for us, no longer is that the case. It does kind of suck in a sense that EA owns both Madden and College Football 25. But at the end of the day, it is two different dev teams that are working on each of the games. It's like the new guy at your job, he comes in, he starts outperforming you. So now you got to step up your game. You got to make it be like, oh, you got to make the boss be like, okay, we do actually have to keep this guy around. Madden is the old guy who EA is gonna have to justify keeping around. Obviously, it's not that simple. Madden will probably always be around. They have the exclusive license. They basically have a monopoly on the NFL, but they no longer have a monopoly on simulation football. So I hope you guys kind of understand where I'm coming from. And then I say all this to say this all relates to the release of the Madden trailer, because all of these features that we're getting, I don't think we would have got them if College Football 25 wasn't coming back this year. So now jumping over to the trailer, it kind of just starts off with Justin Fields returning a kick, and then we see the reverse handoff. I didn't really like this. I kind of understood where they were coming from. They wanted to show a little bit, maybe cause some discourse, get people talking. But there's just so many other things that could have highlighted that happened this offseason. But instead, they're just like, hey, we're going to showcase Justin Fields returning a kick and doing it and making a reverse. I get it. They wanted to showcase the new reverse feature, but they literally could have did anybody. Like, it was no need for them to put Justin Fields back there. But jumping to the actual game, that reverse, like I said, if it wasn't for College Football 25, I don't think we get that. So I think that's a cool feature. It'll probably be super novel because with the new kickoff rules, I don't really see that being all that viable. It's kind of super compressed, and it doesn't really make too much sense. So we'll have to see the actual practicality of the reverse. But it was definitely a cool feature to see them add. And then in terms of the other stuff, so we saw them try to introduce this new thing that they're calling boom tech. So this is supposed to be physics-based tackling. And what I can understand from the beta, hearing a lot of other people talk about it, as well as my experience playing the game a little bit, the tackling, it does feel more physics-based, but it doesn't necessarily feel more realistic. It was just a bunch of guys just bouncing off of tackles. Quarterbacks couldn't get tackled. Running backs couldn't get tackled. It was just like, it didn't really make much sense there. I do appreciate that they're trying to make the game a little bit different, and it did feel less animation-y, but still not more realistic. And then the signature style stuff that they're talking about, maybe I didn't pay close enough attention to it, or maybe this is not entirely included yet in the beta, but I didn't really notice too much. I did notice a clip of Isaiah Pacheco, which I'll throw up on the screen, of him running. I think that was from the beta, so I'll make sure to include that. But other than that, like actually playing the game, I didn't really notice this too much. This could possibly be because, once again, the game is not finished. Like, every single player was wearing the number 22. Cooper DeJean was black. So it was a lot of stuff like that. But moving on to the next feature, they're talking about the new mechanics. So once again, like the ball carrier moves, you can kind of chain them together a little bit better. But they're not really all that much more effective in my opinion. I think they toned down the juke move, but the spin is pretty good. I didn't really get to play too much with like chaining together a juke to a spin or two jukes, double jukes. Like, I think it was like Madden 20 or Madden 21. So I thought that was cool. I will say probably the best feature that we got to play around is kind of two pre-play things on offense and defense respectively. So starting off with offense, everybody heard about the custom stems. So I feel like that was huge when it comes to the pre-play stuff. So we got a bunch more hot routes. So you can obviously change the depth of each of those hot routes, as well as some of the stock routes. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then also, you're allowed to change the coverage shell that your defense comes out in. So you can kind of develop a scheme around one coverage shell, so you can disguise it. There's no need to baseline. If you want to come out and have a cover 4 look every snap, you can have a cover 4 look every snap. If you want to do cover 2, you can do cover 2. I recommend probably like playing the game like 2 high shells are probably a lot better, just because it's a lot easier to rotate to 2 high and then play a middle of the field close coverage versus the other way around. Sure, it's possible, but it definitely can leave your defense a little bit more vulnerable. So I thought that was an awesome feature to see. And then, of course, the switch stick is in the game. They haven't really talked about that at all. So they didn't talk about the switch stick nor the custom stems, as well as the O-line slides. But the switch stick and the O-line slides were both good features that I feel like EA had no choice but to implement, because the little brother in College Football 25 is back, and they're not playing. They're coming for their pockets, so they had to make the game better. And then another thing that they kind of just barely glossed over in the trailer was the football fundamentals. I would say the run blocking, it felt a little bit better, but nothing to write home about. The runner, or the actual running of the ball, so when you're a running back, being able to be patient and kind of sift through the traffic, that did feel a little bit smoother, but above all else, I think they did a really good job with the one playbook that they showcased, the Dolphins. The Dolphins playbook actually felt like something that the Dolphins would be running in real life, and you could see it. It was pretty much the exact same plays that you see with those Dolphin motions, the exit motions, and then a bunch of different plays basically comboed around it. So it wasn't like, oh, you see this motion, you know either this play or this play is coming. They had 5, 6, 7 plays in each formation that had those Dolphin exit motions. I have the feeling that a bunch of the other playbooks aren't really finished yet, because there were a couple that they got new offensive coordinators or they got new head coaches, and they were still pretty much the same as they've been in previous years. So that's something to be on the lookout for moving forward. But overall, the beta, it was okay. I think this gameplay trailer that we got was very underwhelming. I expected a lot more out of it, and it didn't really do anything for us. Like, I didn't feel any more hyped. I don't think anyone else really felt any more hyped. Maybe the college football one was just that good, but they didn't really showcase any of the features in this trailer. So that was a little bit underwhelming, but I'm still going to play this game. I feel like they did make a couple of changes, and it should be fun. I felt like something that I don't really see anyone talk about is the passing trajectory is a lot different. I feel like it was a lot easier to kind of layer the ball over those underneath defenders in the beta. Maybe this is just me, or maybe isn't just a bunch of OP linebackers with 99 jumping that are available yet. So ultimately we'll have to see. But I was pretty much disappointed by this trailer. But the features that we have gotten, like in a vacuum, we would have never gotten these in any other year. So I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from when I say that. I said that earlier in the video. But if you watched this far, thank you for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one.